Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is Wednesday, 11/11 here in Colorado, USA, if you're not in the US, because we know that we do have followers from all over the place. So we always are in gratitude, and we will talk to and do some shout outs from those that are following us. But we're waiting for all the other live streams to come on. We're so excited about being here again. We're back into our regular routine. So if you missed us a little bit during December, yeah, we needed a break as well. So we're back into our regular routine on Wednesdays at 11:11. My topic today is going to be about becoming who you are no matter what your age is, because what happens so many times, people ask me, what's my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? Why is it taking me so long? On this age, is it my career? And there's certain times in our lives that we have those moments of transformation. So what I'm going to talk about today is a little bit about, how to become yourself and what not to limit you and what I really think your purpose is. Of course, I'm not going to go into what I would teach in a 8-hour class, but we're going to give you just a little bit of a nugget to have some things to think about today as you go forward. And especially if you're in a situation that you're not loving, maybe your career is sort of like boring, you're sort of a little frustrated, maybe you're not in the best relationships. So I'm going to have a little bit of insight on that to give you some food for thought. And that will be after a few more minutes. But we also want to do some shout outs, and to let you know, behind the camera, we do have people that do the magic. Dana, my wife, that handles a lot of this stuff. So when you call in, ask for help, want to make appointments, that is her. And then we also have Elizabeth, our producer, that helps us with Grieving to Believing. That's the show that we have on YouTube. I couldn't do this
and everything else.
And everything else. Just so you know, I get to do the easy part. They get to do all the technology part. Not my wheelhouse, that's for sure.
Well, it's a scramble some days.
Yeah. I don't know if how many of you guys are Bobby Flay fans. Dana and I definitely are. But he's a great chef. There's no two ways about it. And he was laughing about with some actors how him doing lines are just really challenging. And I so identify with him. You give me your loved ones who crossed over, I can give you some insight on that. Tell me to read some lines, not my wheelhouse. So Bobby Flay, I get you, man. So any shout outs?
Yeah, lots of students on today, which we always appreciate seeing you guys. Valerie, Nicole, JG. I think JG is Jasmine.
Oh,
in Monterey.
Yeah.
Sid, and then Lisa. So hi to all the students, all the solution students.
Which I love these people so much.
And then we have Marissa from Texas joining us. Tell us where you're from too. We always love to hear. Lots of good mornings from everyone. So good morning, everybody.
If you want to know what I'm drinking, it's called Mud Waters. My new drink, probably for the last 3 months, Dana, maybe 4 months.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if you haven't heard of it, it's MUD water.
Mud
water. Dana makes it for me. I'm going to have to relearn how to make it. And it's very thick, but it's really there to help your brain. So if you're looking for some brain juice.
It's got lion's mane in it, which is really good for your memory.
Yes, a lot of mushrooms. So that's what I'm drinking.
Not psychedelic mushrooms.
I would prefer a glass of wine or vodka tonic, but at 11:11 we're having mud water.
So shout outs, we got Carrie from Lake Stevens, Washington.
Oh, wow.
We've got Carol who says, bring on the sunshine. She may be here in Colorado. Cesar, hopefully I'm saying that right. Hi from Alabama. Maine is cold today. That's Keith Fletcher. He's on YouTube. JG says, I've heard of that. Is it better than coffee? Yes, it actually tastes really good because it's got a little bit of like a cinnamony flavor to it.
Yeah,
right?
it's sort of between a cinnamon chai and chocolate, so it's really thick, and it does take some
getting used to it.
I like my stuff cold, so you may like it hot, but yeah, and you have to stir it a lot because stuff settles. But just to try it, and it does help you with the clarity in your brain.
Yeah.
And I need all I can get these days.
We got Chapman Robin 53 down in Dallas. She says they're iced in.
Wow.
Hello from Nashville, and that is Stir Your Spirit. I love the handles.
Yes.
I don't always know who you are, but I love the handles. Tara Watley says, hi, Deb and Dana. Shannon. Hey, Shannon.
Hey, Shannon.
Long time no see, says, hi, ladies.
She's always a supporter. Thank you, Shannon.
Yeah. Abracadabble. Oh my God, chills. Was just thinking about this today. It must be your topic.
Yeah. Download.
You're downloading, yeah. And a lot of topics Deb teaches or talks about, you always say that they're
so sometimes people that do this kind of work always teach about meditation, and some of my meditation is actually getting ready in the morning, and I will get insights and things to be able to share with other students or on a live feed or whatever is up and coming. And then there's times where I start getting more and more information. And today was one of those when they start going, woo, and maybe it's the mud water, maybe because I've been doing this for over 2 decades, maybe a little combination, right? Where you start getting information. And I do find people say, like the viewer, follower, how do we say it? What do they call them?
Everybody today?
Yeah. What do they call
viewers, followers, both.
That say, I was just thinking this. And I think there is a consciousness of our world and our community, especially if you're a person that's, interested in metaphysics and self-awareness and, looking inward to kind of help yourself, that self-help stuff. And of course, it's becoming more mainstream. So you can talk about a psychic or medium or meditation or things like that. And you're not as like, oh my God, it is becoming more mainstream. I think it was like a morning show the other day or Today Show or whatever I was watching with Jenna and Huda talking about your sacred space. And I'm like, yay, we're making this so much more mainstream that it's not where it's a bad thing. So I'm grateful.
Very few are as good as you, but it is becoming more mainstream.
Well, it depends on what you're looking for, right? So any more shout outs, or should I go ahead and start this?
Actually, real quick, can we, because we know that a lot of you are here for readings. Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We usually pick a couple from each, but we've had trouble getting somebody on the past couple of weeks. So we always like to bring 1 or 2 on live with Deb, and then you do some mini readings as well. So if you want to get a reading from Deb and you want to come on live with her to have a reading with her, fix your hair, get yourself in a good space.
Don't be walking around.
Computer, and then Elizabeth will actually choose somebody. So type in your loved one's first name, how they're connected with you, and what their relationship was. And you always talk about the child's generation.
Yeah, if it's someone that would be child, grandchild, niece, nephew in that generation and age. Now, of course, if you're having a private session, I don't ask those things. We're just doing this because this is live stream. I want to get to as many as possible, and it just helps with all the voices that are in my head already to get right to the point with you. And again, if you really want a reading, please follow the direction because it makes everything easier. Our loved ones love to mess with technology, so when you're in a good spot, you're relaxed, you're sitting comfortably, take the next 20 minutes and be in that position so we can bring you on, because we love, or I would love, I guess Dana and Elizabeth aren't going to give you the reading, but I will be doing the reading, and I want to be able to provide that insight for you and know that you can be connected with your loved one. So we appreciate that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that being said,
it's a 3-way call. So
yeah,
3-way call. So you're part of the whole energy, and when you're in that good place, the information comes through much more clear for everybody.
Yep. So when we announce that Deb would like to, or Elizabeth chooses, and we announce who we're going to bring on live with Deb, you'll have a few minutes to email elizabeth@debsheppard.com. I will put it on the screen for just a couple seconds once she gives me that name, and then we'll get you connected so you can come on live with Deb.
Yeah.
And with that,
my topic. So for those of you that are not getting a reading or here just to hear some insight, thank you so much. So often people want to know, what is my purpose? What I'm supposed to be doing here? And I've never taught that our purpose is our career. It is our job and what we're here to do, because I think that's not what we're here to learn. But when I was getting ready, I thought about the first time I was on an airplane. I was probably 7 or 8 years old, and we were going from Sacramento to LA to go to Disneyland. And I remember the flight attendants and thinking to myself, I want to be a flight attendant. And after I was done dressed, I was like, I look like a flight attendant today. So, I'm going to give you directions. Put your mask on first. There's the exit doors. We'll be coming down the aisle with your drinks and snacks. But it was really interesting because I still remember that. And I wrote it in a book about how that's where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. And so through life and through our experiences, we are pulled to certain places of our career or relationships and education. Many times we're pulled in directions because of our family circumstances, our experiences, and a lot of times that's not our passion. As time goes on, we get into situations where we may not always feel fulfilled, or we don't feel like, wow, I'm really making a difference out there. I don't feel I'm making change. And especially in today's climate, we look at all these influencers, we look at TikToks and anything that's on social media, including this, where people are so much more visible when that wasn't heard of, 15 years ago, even I don't know how long this has been going on, but it has really changed how we see what we need to do or what we desire to do to make an impact to our world. My other point was it doesn't matter what age you are, that you can make a change. And sometimes I do believe that if you're in a situation in a career that isn't going somewhere and they make changes in the company, and we've seen that a lot where no longer is that job in the company, and you're like, what am I supposed to do? I look at that as opportunities of what is really your passion? What is it that you truly wanted to do that you kept saying, oh, I can't? Well, that doesn't make a lot of money, or why would people want me to be in that job, or how hard it would be because all these different excuses. The other thing I think that really affects us is judgment from others. Other people's opinions really do affect how we move forward. In the last couple of weeks, this has really hit me hard about other people's opinions and what they say and what they think of either what I do or how I'm handling something or managing something. It can keep you from actually experiencing your life to the fullest because we become that individual that thinks, well, if they think that and they're open to say it, how many other people are going to think the same thing? So it stops us from really finding that direction and stepping into that path. My message to you is people are going to have opinions, and especially in today's society. When I was growing up, even though that's not their truth today, is, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. We're not in that kind of a society anymore. People, we have actually platforms like Yelp and other types of things that allow you to say what you really think without facing somebody or having even a conversation. What would make things better or why you have that experience. Sometimes people just are angry about something and they like to put it out there. We've seen people be upset about their coffee not being made correctly. That tells you there's so much more underneath that person's energy that has nothing to do with you. If you have a belief or a feeling or an intuition or a desire that you've wanted for a really long time, but you held back because of whatever those, you can list them. I'm too old. I'm not educated. This person is this way. What would they think? I don't have the money. It doesn't pay. People, what are they going to say? All those things come in to keep us. Those are the blocks that keep us from actually being excited about getting up the next morning and making a difference, not only in our lives, but maybe possibly the lives of others. Today, I want you to think about, in this, because this is February 1st, correct? Beginning of the month, I think, is to really think in this next 27, 28 days, how many days are actually in this month? Because it does happen with leap year. It changes. We have a granddaughter born on leap day, so I'm trying to think of what how many days this month. But take that time to write down what is it that you thought about doing. What is it that motivates you, inspires you? What do you think would help make a difference in the lives of people around you? Maybe the planet, the world, children, animals, whatever that is. And start investigating and investing in yourself to make those opportunities happen. And the most important thing is don't ask other people's opinions, because I think that keeps us from really advancing. Unless someone really believes in you and can be your cheerleader and support you, ask people or tell people what you need from them so that you can feel that support to at least have an experience, at least try it, at least open up those doors to say, you know what, at the end of my life, I at least tried some things. I at least made an opportunity or an attempt. There is a great quote by Roosevelt, and I don't know by memory, but it talks about the person in the arena. And that person in the arena is willing to fail, to win, to champion, to whatever that is. And the people outside of it, when they judge you, they've never sat in the arena. If you're that individual that wants to really try something without taking major risk, really go to your heart, begin to envision it, and start putting things in place. And start thinking about what it would feel like to actually manifest those things, to live those things. I know a lot of teachers like myself say, act as if, and that is the feeling of being in the sense of feeling that. Because if you're waking up every day feeling disappointed and judged and limited and frustrated in your life, you got to look at yourself. You're not the victim. No one else in the world gets to have your power, only you. So you get to decide to change your life and take those with you that are your supportive, loving individuals. They don't have to agree, but they can support you and believe in you, and that's the key and the difference. And I know for Dana and I, we've not always had people believe in us or support us, and that's hard. So bottom line is, you don't really need other people's opinions to be able to do what you desire. And it doesn't have to be famous. It doesn't have to change the world. You don't have to be an influencer. But if there is something, writing a book, taking a class, learning a language, traveling somewhere, trying something unique and different, what are you waiting for? So any comments, any feedback would be great. But bottom line, if you've been thinking about, I want to do something different, start doing it. What are you waiting for? What is their timeline? So,
words of wisdom from Deb Sheppard.
That's me on my soapbox today. Or your flight attendant.
Your director. Just lots of people saying very good words of wisdom. Let's see, I tell people that all the time. Heck right. Take back your own control, Christine says.
I think there's so many people that want to be empowered, but they feel like a victim because other people's opinions. Mm-hmm. And it affects me too. You know, I know that when people have these opinions, I'm like, well, maybe I am doing it wrong. But then I have to look at, people are allowed to have their opinions, but it doesn't mean I have to accept that opinion. Mm-hmm. It might mean I need to listen, change, adapt, whatever, but it doesn't mean that creates my value and worth.
Everyone has an opinion. Just like they have an
yes. So
anyway,
with that said,
dot.
Don't let judgment stop you. And it might be, this is an example for Christmas. I asked my son for some books that are legendary, basically, that I'd never read. For me, it was, I want to be able to know at the end of my life, I actually read these books that people have talked about for 50 years or whatever, how long they've been written. These can start with small steps. You can start doing things in a very comfortable way. You know, if you wanted to go to a country and you don't know the language, I think Babbel right now is so popular. I'm told it's so easy. Dave and I've talked about downloading, Italian or whatever language to be able to do that. Try it. Mm-hmm. Try it. That can be your first comfortable steps to building the confidence of saying, I learned this language. What else can I do? I think we get ourselves in this, I'm using the word cubicle, thinking about when I was in corporate life, we get ourselves in this cubicle. This is my role. And even though we look over and say, I'd really like to be in that position, we don't experience it or try or take those steps to even experience something that may not be what we want, but we don't know until we try other things. Mm-hmm. Any more comments?
Yeah, lots. Any tips on dealing with someone that has imposter syndrome?
Is that a narcissist?
Let's get back to that.
Okay.
Because there are lots of comments I'll share, so you can answer questions. But on Facebook, Robin Webb, please email Elizabeth@debsheppard.com. We put that in the notes. So if you can email Elizabeth@debsheppard.com, do it right now so that we can get you connected. And Deb's going to do a few readings, but the comments coming
Who
through.
does Robin want to talk to?
Robin wants to talk to her husband, Sinjon, Sinjon.
Okay. Some of the comments.
So I know you're channeling already.
Mm-hmm.
Handle on Instagram, National Park Pride. Someone's, we can be our own toughest critics. Do you have any recommendations on how to meditate to address anxiety?
I think if you have anxiety, sitting down and meditating probably would not be my advice. So I believe in active meditations for someone that has anxiety because, yes, when you have a lot of anxiety, you want to be able to breathe. You can do essential oils. There's so many things you can do for anxiety. But if you're looking at meditation, to me, doing coloring mandalas, walking meditation, even if you have an animal, petting your animal, having a notebook nearby, for people, I'm trying to get my mouth to work this morning. I haven't been talking enough. To get yourself with anxiety, you're probably an empath. So, those breathing exercises, being active, releasing it, and also what is your triggers for anxiety? Having a quiet meditation for someone with anxiety, I think it's almost counterproductive because you're going to feel like you're doing it wrong. So how do you release the energy? I've even recommended for some people kickboxing, martial arts, things like that, to remove the energy, because when it comes to anxiety, you're holding on energy. So to sit with it and be quiet, I think for some people it could be a struggle. So if you try to be quiet with a meditation, it's not working, please try one of these other recommendations for sure. And get back to us, let us know.
And I know lots of people joined after we announced. So if you're here to get a reading, we need your loved one's first name and their relationship with you, or their relationship to you. If it's child's generation, Deb wants their age so they can connect quickly. And we may be able to bring someone on here in just a moment. And we did announce Robin Webb.
Good, Robin.
We need to
do your stuff, Robin. Get on, get centered, get all those kind of things.
And then there may be somebody else that we bring on.
Yay,
first.
that's great.
We try to have a couple.
If it's a three-way, so everyone has to participate. And with you and Elizabeth too, we've got a lot of other people and electronics. So, I think anxiety, the word anxiety, I was thinking this the other day, the words anxiety are used a lot, OCD, all those things. I think these labels can help identify with things, but I also feel that we can get overwhelmed by these labels. So your intuition, your body knows what you need. So listening to what it is versus what someone's telling you, I think can also cause more anxiety or feel like you're not doing it right. So if you're a person that likes to swim or take hot baths, or you like to cook, and that helps with your anxiety or your stress levels, that to me is a form of meditation, because you're being present, you're being quiet, you're managing your energy. So as the world is going around you, you pull your energy in and figure out what it is that's triggering you.
Brenda is saying, oh my God, OMG, that's an amazing outlook on anxiety. Thank you. So most of your philosophies are different than the mainstream.
Yeah, I don't teach a lot of the mainstream stuff that psychics teach. Not that I think it's bad. I just think there's alternative ways. And if traditional ways work for you, like being in a quiet room, meditation in a lotus position, good for you. For a lot of people that are busy, sensitive, empathic, have that anxiety, that type of stuff is not going to work until later down the road when you understand what your triggers are.
Okay, so real quick, you want to jump into readings?
Yeah.
Okay, and we'll go back to questions if we have time. Keith, he's on YouTube. He wants to connect with his cousin Ronnie.
Okay. First of all, I'm cracking up. So whether you're funny or Ronnie's funny, the first thing I get is a sense of humor from Ronnie. The other feeling I get with Ronnie sort of reminds me of my cousin Robert. I was closer to him than some of my own siblings because of our age and our experiences in life. So, for instance, my trip to Disneyland with my cousins, Robert was in most of those trips, and that's how I feel you and Ronnie. I'm having trouble breathing with Ronnie. There's also a feeling of maybe not being prepared completely for his passing. My head is hurting me, so body head, maybe there was something going on. Mentally, physically, something like that as well. Um, he's also talking about there's a Celtic knot that I'm seeing. For me, a Celtic knot could be something about Ireland, England, or that connection, or there's a tattoo or something around that. So I'm going to leave that with you because that's kind of a new sign for me. I don't feel like Ronnie's been gone for a long time, but I feel this heartfelt thing of he's like with me with my cousin Robert. There's that kind of a deeper relationship. It's just not, oh yeah, you're my cousin. He's also telling you to have a voice with a situation. It's either with a family member or someone close to you. He's saying create a boundary, have a voice, stand up for yourself. So I'm curious to hear back from that. But boy, Ronnie feels my whole body is kind of shutting down or feeling heavy or weighted. So give us any feedback.
He said something about pass away 12/1/2022. And he was very funny, but he hasn't shared anything else.
Okay, so it was a recent.
But we do know that Deb is never wrong. It's always the interpretation of what you're getting.
Well, the Celtic knot is interesting. So, Keith, if you can give me anything back on the Celtic knot, just because that's kind of a new symbol for me.
Okay, so we have Michelle. She came in from Instagram. I can't remember. Messages are flying back and forth between me and Elizabeth, who she's here to connect with. But let's bring her on and see. All right. Hi, Michelle. You're with Deb.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Deb. How are you?
Good. Where are you located?
I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, and my person is named Mary.
Mary. Who is she? How's she related?
She's my mother.
Yeah, good. Okay. Wow. Was there just a lot of love from her?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. I feel like this huge amount of love, but at the same time, I feel like your mom, not a Martha Stewart, but she had strong opinions.
Yeah.
Okay. So in her mind, I'm getting here like, I love you a lot. I'm giving you advice because I love you a lot. Would that make sense too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She's also saying she's giving me the number 2. She's been gone like 2 years, or there's a February connection, or what's the 2?
Yeah, she's been passed away for a little over 2 years.
Okay. And she's telling me she was sick. Wow. Was she really sick before she passed?
Well, she was.
Ooh, okay.
She was sick, yeah.
What I get from her, either not listen, I get this sometimes with strong people, not listening to what she needed to do. So I feel like she could have done things differently to make herself live longer, but she ignoring stuff.
Yeah.
I also feel she's letting you know, thank you for taking care of stuff. Because your mom has strong opinions, I'm getting a thumbs up, like what you did for after her passing or during the time she was sick. She goes, don't question if it was enough, it was right. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Because I feel like she had strong opinions, and she just says it's all good too. Is there been like a celebration, like someone had a baby, someone got a dog, someone got a job, someone got a house since her death?
Yeah, with her, with me, but her grandchildren.
Okay, because she feels like I want to celebrate. I was there. Do you have a question for your mom?
Yeah, I have a lot of questions.
You get one, Mary. You can ask one, Mary. So make it a good one.
Okay. Is she guiding and watching over us now? Because her granddaughter really needs her. And I mean, I do too, but there was a lot of discussion that she would be coming through for us. And I just want to know how much she's around, because there's a lot of discord.
Okay, Michelle, let me give you the answer there.
Okay.
First of all, I don't believe that our loved ones are our guides. Your mom talking about all these things and being here today means, yes, she is around. Can she influence what's going on? Not really, because why didn't someone influence your mother? Why didn't her mother? Why didn't her father? Why didn't her sister? Whoever. So part of it is that we want to know that they see what's happening. When your mom is talking about these things, and she's talking about 2 years ago, or all these things, that's validation she's around, because I would not know this. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can ask your mom to be there, but my thoughts are, what's your daughter's first name?
Savannah.
Who's the stubborn one? Is she stubborn?
Yeah.
Okay, so your mom can't change your daughter, but I also feel like this is, she does see, because if I don't know that your daughter's stubborn, so your mom is telling me this. So all your questions that you probably have is, can mom make a difference? Can mom change? And that's what people ask for. They're, in my belief system, they can't influence you. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you're not content with that answer.
Oh, I just want to know if she's happy, really. That's all that matters to me. She had a really hard life.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't do this work if they weren't happy. I'm going to recommend a movie called Defending Your Life. It was released in 1999, probably before you were born. It's Defending Your Life, Al Brooks and Meryl Streep. That's how I see the afterlife. I would not do this if they weren't okay. They come through and talk about the challenges, what happened, so it validates them. We're the ones struggling, not your mother. Did she have a hard time with her dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How would I know that, Michelle?
I wish I could tell you that story.
But my question is, how would I know that?
Wow. Does she have a message for me? That's all I need to know.
Michelle, that's the message for you, because this is not a full hour reading, but I want you to think about what I just said. How would I know this? Your mom's around. Okay? That is your message. Your mom is around, because you want to know if she's okay. She sees Savannah, and is she with you? So all those got answered.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming
Michelle.
on.
I think I don't know if Michelle's still listening, but part of this is that we get all these questions. And bottom line is understanding that when you're with a medium that is giving this information, is to trust that, hey, they are with me. Mm-hmm. But I think we get overwhelmed. We have so much grief. We have things going on in our life. Mm-hmm. We have an old belief system, so we're trying to incorporate, is this real? Right. So that's why with Michelle, I was like, okay, this is not an hour reading, but just to say, how would I know this? Right. This is your mother telling me.
Yeah. You can book an hour reading with them.
Absolutely.
And that's just, jump on the website for that.
Yeah.
But Keith, he says, not too sure about the Celtic knot, but I have a Celtic knot in my room. I do a lot of spiritual things and have been trying to open up.
Okay, I know what that means.
Okay.
If you have a Celtic knot in your bedroom, I would not know that. Mm-hmm. So Ronnie saying that means he's in your room, he sees what's happening. If you're trying to go on a spiritual path, it might mean you're trying to connect with the Druids, the Celtics. I'm trying to think some of the energy there. And my DNA is from that same area, so I get that. Mm-hmm. I don't have any Celtic knots. The fact that you have one in your bedroom, I'm sorry, Keith, I do not know what your bedroom looks like. If Ronnie's mentioning this, that to me is a validation, 100%. Mm-hmm. Okay, were we going to bring on Robin, or is she making on?
She didn't make it on.
Okay,
and who knows, but
that's okay. Michelle, it's good.
Yeah, we can do. Let's see about another minute.
Does Michelle stay on even though she came on, or does she have to try to log back on?
She may be on Facebook. But she's not in the.
Okay, just I think for Michelle, if you're listening, anyone else that just heard that, we want to know: do they see? Can they make a difference? Are they aware? Are they at peace? 100%. I've never had anyone come through that didn't say, "I'm okay. I'm at peace." Mm-hmm. All the grief, all the stuff that we get is our own personal stuff, and it's always harder energetically because of the people that are left behind. So, few things here. If you're in Colorado or you want to come here, please buy tickets for February 18th. Make it a Valentine's party. will be 5:15 at the First Universal Church. I'm doing a gallery, one of my favorite things. I love being on stage and having a big group now that we are not dealing with COVID. And thanks again for joining us here today.
It's on your website.
My ticket's there.
On
Anywhere
your
else?
website,
Yeah.
And these are really cool.
Yeah.
These are really, all the messages that come through are meant for the entire group, not just the
One
few.
person.
Right.
And
So-
I have fabulous dad jokes. But with that said, we always want to remember that even though your loved ones are on the other side, they are still by your side. Thank you for joining us.